Once Ash has defeated all 8 gyms in the Sinnoh Ridge, Ash is qualified for the Sinnoh League, and after a few days of worth of special extra training, and Ash and the rest of the gang manage to reach to the league, where Ash is about to finally approach his final challenge. As just like in the original, as Ash is planning on using all of his older Pokemon, inspired by Paul and the previous league that he previously did, especially in Hoenn. He thought that using only his Hoenn Pokemon nearly soured his chance of winning, but this time Ash is determined to use every Pokemon on hand, which Ash will be showcasing after his first opponent with Nanado, and everything in that battle plays out the same. And I think it makes sense for Ash to use the Pokemon that he had in that particular battle. Everything plays out the same, but for the specific battle for Paul versus Barry, as that one goes much more differently than expected. As Paul and Barry patiently wait for the referee to begin, and the referee calls out for the battle to begin. As Barry faces Paul begins in a exciting way, as Barry decided he's gonna send out a defensive mod by sending out Skarmory to battle, and Paul looking over the Pokemon he has on him is he just simply slept and decided on sending out his most strongest infamous Pokemon Infernape to battle, and Barry hearing the rumors about Paul's Infernape is kinda sweating a bit and actually a bit scared from it, but not to worry. Even though Skarmory is a steel type, but his flying type should keep Inferno a bit off, and especially what Barry is aiming for. And once the referee begins the battle, as Barry immediately commands for Skarmory to set up a spike, as Skarmory is shooting out spikes throughout the battle and hoping this will help him in the long game, Barry to himself, but unfortunately this doesn't seem to stop Paul or hesitate, as Paul simply commands one move, Flamethrower, as Furnape without hesitation begins to envelop Skarmory with a huge flame, as Skarmory is taken directly with a major damage, but somehow still standing, and Paul suspects that should have knocked Skarmory, and Barry points out its Skarmory's ability study. It allows it to survive from one-shot moves that would have knocked it out, but Barry is beginning to panic a bit inside because Skarmory is pretty much one move away from being knocked out in the first few seconds of the battle, and immediately wants to get Skarmory away from Infinite by trying to get some pressure away by using a powerful S slash trying to get Infinite back off, which does do some decent damage. Papa doesn't want Infinite to be exposed, especially if it's facing up against a boss that could take the air, as Paul simply calls for Infinite to use Dig, even though Dig itself can't even affect Skarmory, but it does get Infernape to be out of sight from Skarmory, meaning that Barry needs to guess here until Barry has an idea and commands for Skarmory to follow Infernape under the ground, and Skarmory is chasing down Infernape underground, even though it at first seems to be a bad idea, but unfortunately Infernape is facing in the down and still digging, while Skarmory is in its bag, allowing Skarmory to do some damage for free by using a powerful iron head, slamming its thick skull into the fire monkey, which screams as both Pokemon emerges out of the ground, but Inferno seems to be quite angered by this, and Paul could greatly sense it, and not wanting to waste some sort of time as Paul calls for Inferno to use his strongest move, Blaze, as um, Flare Blitz, as Inferno turns into a ball and pretty much chases down Skarmory, and Barry desperately calling for Skarmory to get out of the way, but unfortunately Paul and Inferno have been practicing this particular move to the point where Inferno can just simply chase Skarmory while in Flare Blitz. Once Skarmory is running out of room, Inferno seems to clash on, knocking out Skarmory in the second hit, as Barry is forcing to recall Skarmory from that in, intense battle, and Barry is to is a bit scared facing up Infernape. And the worst part, he didn't do any sort of damage, and Infernape is not even in Blaze mode yet. But Barry isn't scared whatsoever by sending out Empoleon to battle perhaps his second counter to Infernape, but since Paul can't switch up because of the spikes that Skarmory has sent off, that's what Barry thinks to himself. But immediately Paul just recalls Infernape and sends out Electro Bust to battle, which immediately took major chip damage from the spike, and not to mention Barry is in control of this battle immediately by using a powerful hydro cannon, which Electro was forced to take on, but still catches on as Electro simply fires with a powerful thunder, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to hit Empoleon and simply gets Empoleon out of the way, and then trying to use a powerful flash cannon which Electrobus simply took it on. Being Electro-type seems to resist the Steel-type damage, which allows for Paul to get a upper hand by using a powerful Thunderbolt, and Barry quickly tried to fire back by a powerful Drill Peck as the two Pokemon clash their moves, but unfortunately Empoleon is immediately in the back foot as Electrobus is constantly striking Empoleon with powerful electric punches. Not only that, once Electrobus seems to send Empoleon into a large storm, allowing Paul to set up for Electrobus for a life stealing, and realizing Barry's special attacks wouldn't do much against Electrobus as Barry is hesitant for Empoleon to continue on their battle, deciding for the best course to recall Empoleon and sending out Hitmonlee to battle as Barry quickly commands for Hitmonlee to use a powerful high jump kick as Electrobus was not prepared for facing up against this Pokemon and taking the high jump kick pretty devastatingly as Electrobus struggles to stand up, but this doesn't seem to phase it all as they just command for a powerful thunder as Hitmonlee managed to roll out of the way and simply boast up with a powerful bulk up, boosting its defense and attack, and this gets Paul to think a quick strategy, recalling Electrobus and sending out Ursaring to battle as the Ursaring Pokemon just simply roar, ready for the battle, and Barry is taken aback. Why would he send a normal type against a fighting type? But Barry won't argue for a free win as he calls for a hit Hitmonlee to use a powerful close combat immediately, but unfortunately for Barry, Paul simply calls for a protect, which allows for Ursaring to survive the close combat that would have done so much damage, and unfortunately Hitmonlee is very up close to Ursaring, and as Paul commands for a powerful hammer arm, as Ursaring uses its two arms to slam Hitmonlee to the ground, but this does get the Hitmonlee to jump out of the way, and Barry basically tries to use another high jump kick, and upon not wanting to rely another protector, there's a chance it might fail. So Paul quickly tries to counter with a powerful slash, but unfortunately Hitmonlee, being a fighting type, managed to overpower Ursaring and managed to strike the attack, allowing Barry again to even try for another high jump kick, and again this does seems to injure Ursaring for a second time, which actually wobbles its feet until Barry gets a bit cocky and commands for a powerful blast kick as Hitmonlee emblazes its legs with a fire and allowing for Hitmonlee to hit Ursaring with a powerful kick, and not only that, it seems to land a burn as Ursaring is in a burn as Barry is thinking to himself this is a good chance to knock out Paul's Pokemon, but unfortunately Paul seems to smart because Barry has no idea he just activates Ursaring's its guts ability. Once Barry calmly tries to use a close combat, but unfortunately Paul simply uses Protect once again, and this time with a power-up Ursaring commands for a powerful Hammer Arm, and this time this seems to knock out Hitmonlee as Barry is out of two Pokemons and he didn't do anything to pause his Pokemon, as Barry simply records his money, and this simply reason out slowly and sending out Empoleon to battle. As Barry commands for a powerful hydro cannon, but unexpectedly Paul simply returns to Earth and sending out Electrobus, taking the damage, and this is the last time where Light Scream is faded away finally, but it does allow for Electrobus to survive the attack, allowing it to pretty much switch freely, but unfortunately still gets damage from spikes. But unfortunately, even though Barry is desperately gonna have a fight for his life, but unfortunately, since Paul is sending out his toughest Pokemon, Electrobus just simply overwhelms Empoleon with a powerful Thunder Punch and Thunders, which knocks out Barry's last Pokemon out of the league, giving Paul the big victory here, with no losses on his end. After just witnessing Paul just completely bulldozes Barry's team as Ash's weakness Paul without even giving a sweat just destroyed Barry, and Ash even noticed that Paul has becoming much more stronger the last time they meet, and Ash could confidently say this is the strongest rival that Ash has ever met. Unfortunately, Ash is going to have to still climb up the ranks in order to qualify, as Ash finds out he's going to face Conway and setting up a team to counter Conway, as Ash would have used Larry and Torterra, and since Ash doesn't have Infinite, he will probably use Magmortar. Just like in the original, Ash decided to change his team entirely for the next battle, as Ash and Conway wait for the referee to call on the battle. As Ash vs Conway begins, as Conway has set up a perfect team to counter Ash after pretty much spying on Ash, but unexpectedly Ash simply sends out Dolphin to battle, and it's one of Ash's Pokemon that Conway really didn't expect, but that won't get Conway's head a bit because he is a genius after all, and sending out a very defensive one by sending out Shocker to battle. And once the battle begins, as Ash commends for a powerful rollout, it's already clear that Shocker it just simply goes to its shot and simply took the damage with no issue whatsoever, and Conway hasn't even calling out the move, and quickly realizing that Ash needs to try something much more harder, but unfortunately Conway simply uses calls for Iron Defense to boosting its attack, its defense drastically, and Ash after a few tries on rollouts after rollout and beginning to realize that there's nothing that Dolphin could possibly get through that Shocker's defense, and Conway just simply commands for a powerful power trip, and immediately Shocker's moves, its attack and defense are simply swapped, and now Shocker can do a tremendous damage because of it, and Conway's commands for a powerful jail ball as desperately calls for Dolphin to do a powerful rollout as the two Pokemon collide, and unfortunately even though Dolphin is larger, but unfortunately Shocker's defense is way too high as Shocker just powers through, as this does get the Dolphin to try to shake off its nerve, and this is getting S2 quite a bit and trying to recall Dolphin back to the Pokeball, and Conway is thinking this is good if I could just get Ash to call all of his Pokemon and trying to take out one of mine, it should be easy for me, but unexpectedly Ash calls for a Pokemon that Conway didn't honestly thought that Ash would pull out, as Ash simply sends out Frost Slash to battle. As the ghost Pokemon floats in the air waiting for the trainer to call out the move, and this won't shock Conway whatsoever, and calls for another Gyro Ball, but Ash simply commands for Frost Slash to hide, and Frost Slash seems to disappear, which Shocker has to stop just to look around where its opponent, and Conway knows he has ghost Pokemon before, but facing up against the ghost type is a different experience entirely, and Ash simply commands for Frost Slash. with a powerful blizzard attack, and unexpectedly, Frostlash seems to appear in behind Shocker, and Conway desperately tries to get Shocker's attention, but is too late, as Frostlash simply launches the powerful blizzard in point blank, which immediately throws Shocker, and Conway has no way for Shocker to get out of the ice, and since Shocker couldn't retreat back to its shell, allowing Ash to finish off Shocker with a Shadow Ball, as Frostlash simply commands for powerful ghostly energy, striking Shocker, knocking it out, which is the first loss that Conway is having, but he's not too worried whatsoever. He still has a counter for Frostlight and sending out Licky Licky to battle, and immediately the two Pokemon seems to be even until Conway commands for a powerful Power Whip, and immediately Licky Licky uses its long elastic tongue to swipe Frostlash, but even though it's not much effective against an ice type, it doesn't stop for Frostlash to be quite annoyed by this because she doesn't like being a lady, of course, as Frostlight begins to be quite mad against Licky Licky, and this is where Licky tries to use a powerful Thunderbolt, and this simply is overwhelming Frostlash to the point where Ash realized that Frostlash heavily relies on its ability to move away from most attack. He quickly realized that he doesn't have time for Frostlash to set up a hill, as Ash simply recalls Frostlash, and Ash is quickly reminded why Frostlash needs a certain way on battle, so Ash simply decides to send out Noctowl to battle, as Noctowl simply uses its air capability to its advantage, as Licky Licky tries to strike Noctowl with a power whip. Unfortunately, its tongue has a reach limit, and Conway desperately calls for a move that could harm Noctowl with a powerful Thunderbolt, but unfortunately, Noctowl seems to manage to move out of the way and uses its psychic powers like accessory to lift out Licky Licky into the ground and slamming it to the ground, which does seems to knock out Licky Licky. And Conway desperately is having one more Pokemon left, but luckily it's the best Pokemon, as Conway sent out Darksnarl to battle, and Conway immediately calls from Darksnarl to use Trick Room, and at first it doesn't seem to do nothing, but Ash tries to quickly put it down with a powerful asset, but quickly notice Noctowl is doing so much slower compared to Conway, which as he commands for Darksnarl to use a powerful Dark Pulse, which immediately shoot out from Darksnarl's palms together, striking Noctowl without warning, and Ash is quickly realizing what Trick Room does, but unfortunately it simply is too late, as Darksnarl simply uses another Dark Pulse to knock out Noctowl, having no other choice as Ash sends out Dolphin to battle, and this time Dolphin seems to have a actual Pokemon that could do damage with a powerful rollout and Storm afterwards, but unfortunately Penny can't even build up the full damage from rollout, and the Ash desperately tries to use its strongest move with a powerful Earthquake, but unfortunately, as Duskull seems to be a very high defense one, allowing to took the damage and using a powerful Shadow Punch that directly does critical damage, and Ash once again tempted to return taunt defense until countered with a powerful Darksnarl simply use Mean Look to prevent Donovan from switching out, meaning that Ash is gonna have a much difficult time, but unfortunately Conway simply knocks out Donovan with a powerful Shadow Punch, leaving Ash with one more Pokemon left, and Ash sends out Frostlash, and unfortunately, just like the rest of his Pokemon, they are just too fast for Darksnarl, meaning that on the Trick Room it's the fastest, and Conway took the full advantage by constantly overwhelming Frostlash with powerful Shadow Punch and Dark Pulse, but luckily Ash can do one thing that he can rely on by using Hail, as Frostlash seems covers the battlefield and forcing Darksnarl to actually try to use its speed, as Frostlash seems to fade in and out through the battle. to the point where the ghost type seems to get frustrated, and to the point that Conway isn't aware about Hell, to the point where Ash doesn't need to do much because Daskar is wasting more energy and taking chip damage from Hell, and then Ash is done holding back by commanding for a blizzard, and Frost appears from the snow and landing a powerful blizzard, which does not manage to counter with Dark Pulse, but the damage is simply too much. Thanks to the power in it being Hell, as then Frost has managed to put down Dustna with a powerful Shadow Ball, which does super effective damage, knocking out the Ghost, leaving Ash to be the victorious. Once after Ash has defeated Conway, as both trainers shook hands, and Ash is planning to spoil his Pokemon after letting Ash win and pretty much praising their Pokemon. But after Ash is spoiling his Pokemon, Ash finds out the next day who he's facing off against, and after learning a weird trainer that is using a very particular Pokemon, but Ash goes at the side because he's more focused on the next opponent, which is Paul. As the two meet in the Pokemon Center wanting to heal up their Pokemon, as Paul and Ash just glance at each other, and without a word, the two just simply split off, and that's where we're gonna end the episode there. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave a notification for the next upload, and maybe leave a like down below. Until next time, peace.